Let's learn how to escape the medical rat race. The important thing to remember is you are not a rat, and you should not be treated like a rat. Too many doctor's visits, too many prescriptions, too many side effects of drugs, too much wasted time, too little health. It often seems that you go round in circles and keep going back to the doctor and keep feeling sick and keep staying sick, and it's a vicious circle, or, in computer parlance, an infinite loop. It is time to escape. There is a way to do it. It's fun. It's easy. You have started your healthy life today, just by making the decision to do so. Let me explain. You have already begun a healthy life by making the major primary decision to do so. And any secondary decision, what to eat, how to exercise, how to interact with other people, anything that can have an impact on your health, you will make so as to do the right thing for your health. You are watching this movie. You made that choice. And if I have my way, you will learn things that will take you the first steps to a new, healthier, and fun life. Accept nothing less from your doctor than that he tell you the truth and that he work to keep you well, that he puts your health ahead of the agenda of big medicine. Medicine is an art. It is not an exact science, and that can be proved. What do I mean by big medicine? I mean any sort of medicine done purely for personal gain for the practitioners. Remember the oath that you have heard that doctors take, the oath of Hippocrates, thought to be the father of medicine, but most doctors do not take it anymore? Guess why? Part of it includes a prohibition against abortion. Another part goes like this. I will prescribe regimens for the good of my patients according to my ability and my judgment, and never do harm to anyone. Unfortunately, it is possible for prescriptions and surgery to do harm. You need to be free of any pressures that will induce such harm. If a doctor educated in classical modern medicine decided to improve your health, to apply his knowledge to keeping you healthy, and had no agenda beyond that, you would get the truth from your doctor and have more time for the things in your life that you love, including staying healthy without unnecessary doctor visits, unnecessary drugs, and unnecessary diagnostic and surgical procedures. Very few medical doctors will give you the tools to take care of yourself. I am an exception. I want you well. I did not spend more than 8 years of my life studying medicine just to bring you lies, and I do not think that anyone else should either. So I am going to give you some secrets to health, ways of staying healthy that most doctors don't know or don't want to tell you. It is possible to lose weight without feeling hungry in the process. Eat whole foods, unpasteurized milk, butter, not margarine, good meat, fresh eggs. Raw eggs are perfectly safe. The risk of salmonella poisoning does exist, but salmonella poisoning is like the flu. It can be somewhat safely ignored. If you think healthcare is mismanaged, you're right. Politicians have entered the business of healthcare intending to manage it for their own personal gain. Maynard Keynes tried to solve the problem of the Great Depression in 1929 and following by suggesting that if jobs are created through government programs, then we would be all better as a consequence of those jobs. The reality is that jobs will follow the need and cannot be legislated into existence. If something creates jobs, as in medical secretaries and medical insurance, paper filling out and so on, that does not mean that more actual health care gets done. It simply means that more money is spent on it. Then health care gets more expensive, taxes go up, insurance gets more expensive, and so on. You probably know this at least as well as I do. The price is high, but the quality is not so high. Big labor wants to intimidate people into joining unions by threatening high medical costs. Small labor, the union members and the people not in unions, are not so interested in high prices. They want total freedom. So do we. We pay, we vote, and we disagree with the mismanagement of health care. Also, try to remember that big corporation owners, the stockholders, often are mutual funds and pension funds and own stock in many different companies. So don't assume that the owners of a corporation want to maximize the income and value for the stockholders in that corporation. There may be cross-ownership, and it's entirely possible that the major stockholders of traditional heavy industry companies also own stock in healthcare facilities and in medical insurance. They are not going to argue in favor of cutting down the profits of their other stocks in order to improve the livelihood of stockholders in a motor vehicle manufacturing company or a food distribution chain. Let's look at the social role of healthcare. Real healthcare brings on real health. Very simple. The social role of healthcare, which is putting on a show and looking like healthcare, is intended to appear to be helpful, and it does, but the outcome is less important. It is the fanfare and not the results. Real healthcare emphasizes problem-oriented thought. The social role emphasizes the fanfare and the pretense of doing something good. Where are today's leaders? Their Ivy League educations have stripped them of the ability to lead. Instead, they are victimized and made to feel guilty. To pay off their guilt, they give to charity. Fake needs inspire real donations. So your job is to not adopt the social role of needing. Otherwise, people will give to you for their own selfish reasons, which are not necessarily in your best interests. Let's take a look at the tendency of making something infinite that can be finite. Arithmetic is my favorite example of something which can be learned, it's finite, and then we don't need to think about it anymore. We use it only as a tool to get something else accomplished. It is possible in an academic setting or a healthcare setting to take something finite like arithmetic and convert it into something that is potentially infinite. And it is easy for a careless or poverty-stricken physician to translate a simple finite issue into a permanent problem with never-ending medical appointments, treatment, and, of course, never-ending payments. With the tendency toward referrals, practitioners can refer to their colleagues and local hospital, who may be glad for the revenue, and expect referrals in return. So the patient gets bounced around like a ping-pong ball, and everyone else gets rich. Fear is a favorite tool of certain practitioners. Some practitioners may invent a risk or magnify a genuine but small one. Consumers gravitate to fear. The patient then feels special and that he owes his or her life to the doctor hero. Some screening is superfluous. The revenue is generated by an extra test, but the treatment will be the same regardless. Invented long-term illness. AIDS, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, is not traceable to HIV. In fact, some reputable scientists say that HIV does not exist. Some people buy ribbons and display them to show support. It would be more helpful to stand up for what is right. The afflicted become media tools. The people who wear ribbons think that they are helping the cause, but they are not. That's hypocrisy. Propaganda for our children include things like Muscular Dystrophy Hop-A-Thons, in which 4-year-olds are asked to get money pledges depending on how many times they can hop in a specified amount of time. Do you stop to consider how perverse and silly this is? Consider what useless thing your child is being taught. How are you and your children being used? How exactly are people with muscular dystrophy helped by Hop-A-Thons? Start dancing, stop AIDS? No, it doesn't work like that. Start telling the truth. That will help. Invented long-term illness include cholesterol. High cholesterol, is that a problem? Or is it an ordinary sign of aging? Many people have heart attacks with normal cholesterol. Cholesterol in the blood does not mean it will turn into artery plaque, and it's better to treat the patient and not apply whiteout to the lab report. Invented long-term charity, that doesn't help. Avoid being manipulated into being needy. Real help is withheld from impaired people so that they will continue to need charity. Where are the assistive devices for muscular dystrophy patients? We don't see them advertised as a way that Hop-A-Thon money is to be spent. Where are the wheelchair sports in school so people know what it's like to be in a wheelchair? They don't exist. Prescriptions, as seen by the doctors. New drugs are profitable, so new drugs are what is advertised, not the old ones. Advertisers follow the Food and Drug Administration rules on disclosure of information and usually bring food or gifts to the doctors and the staff of the doctor's office. High-status doctors frown on difficult medical questions from curious new doctors. Watch what happens when interns at a hospital ask technical questions. They get repressed, not praised. Drug sales staff does not announce prices of drugs when trying to get doctors to prescribe them. Studies are brought forward that show the effectiveness of the new drugs, but the studies are carefully designed to make comparison from one drug to another or drug to nutritional supplement statistically impossible. Modern medical school admissions favor the conformist, not the intelligent, and the bandwagon effect results in abandonment of nutrition and of old drugs. FDA limits claims that drug companies can make to what is officially approved. Some drugs have unintended uses. Bumetanide is a diuretic. It is short-acting. It can be used as a sleeping pill. Take it, urinate, go to sleep. You don't get up in the middle of the night to urinate. And acetylcysteine, intended for respiration, very supportive for liver disease, and anastrozole will increase penis size and virility in obese patients. There are 3 causes of degenerative and progressive conditions. All deterioration is traceable to one or more of these 3 causes. 1. Genetics. It's a problem you're born with. 2. Too much of the wrong things, toxic substances perhaps. 3. Not enough of the right things. You don't have the essential nutrients, vitamins, and such that you need. Often, 2 or more of these causes are found in the same patient. Moderation with some things. Glutamine, available locally, over the counter, 1 gram 3 times a day, reduces the craving for alcohol. It's safe, and unlike disulfiram, brand name Antabuse, if you do drink alcohol while taking it, you will not get seriously ill. This is not aversion therapy. It alters the neurotransmission so that you just plain won't want to drink. Do an end run around the food industry. Buy your food ingredients one at a time. Eat fresh ingredients right away. Cook big batches and freeze in portions. If pressed for time, you can reheat later. This will save lots of time, so it is not such a labor-intensive thing to eat healthily. This way, you will be completely emancipated from food additives, no trans fatty acids, no butylated hydroxy this and that, or various other things. Consumer well-being is not part of Big Food's agenda. Preservatives keep food from rotting by interfering with the metabolic processes of whatever tries to decompose them, including you and your digestive system. If the bacteria cannot decompose them, maybe you can't either. Hey, guess what? Doc, I have indigestion. If you eat preservatives and you're not trying to embalm yourself, you can expect to feel as if you do have indigestion. Those are intended to make things indigestible. Don't buy what you can't spell. Read the ingredients. Bring a magnifying glass to the supermarket if you need to. Watch out for government pressures. The officials in the government receive money from farmers and not from you as a private citizen. Soy and fluoride are examples. Aluminum ore refineries have had fluoride, didn't know what to do with them, lobbied the government, now they are dumping the garbage in the water. Similarly, grains and corn for fuel. They use up more fuel than their fuel value is when they're produced. Ketchup. Tomato puree 4-to-1 with raw vinegar and add salt and spices such as basil, and then you will not have the added sugar. Salad dressing, oil and vinegar, or mayonnaise. Don't worry about the cholesterol in the mayonnaise. It's actually good for you. Add spices to taste. Once again, there will not be any improper sweeteners or trans fatty acids. Fats, yes, you do need them. You need them for gallbladder health. Eat a high-fat meal every so often to empty the gallbladder, and you are not going to need your gallbladder removed. The extra weight that plagues us and coats our arteries is not fat from the diet. It is fat in general from carbohydrates. Low-fat foods do paradoxically make us fat. They confuse our bodies and induce us to overeat as we attempt to get the essential fatty acids and other nutrients that we need. So we acquire carbohydrate calories and they are turned into fat. Health stops being about getting you well. It becomes about the health of the medical industry's budget. Not yours, theirs. Do you need the drug? Or does somebody else need the money? Your money. Is big medicine making money by getting you sick and keeping you sick so that you come back to more and more money? Possibly. Eat the good stuff. Don't be fooled by the cholesterol scam. Cholesterol is part of our brains. Cholesterol helps remove toxic substances. To use an analogy, cholesterol acts like a garbage collector. The last thing you want to do is to impound the garbage trucks if there is garbage to be removed. Human breast milk has cholesterol. No one tells mothers to skim it and give skim breast milk to their babies. Try to eat whole foods. They have vitamins and minerals that are often omitted from processed foods. Leafy vegetables with their dark green pigment, which is chlorophyll, are an example. With chlorophyll, there is magnesium, and the body needs magnesium for blood pressure and heart rate control. Spinach in particular has oxalic acid, which is a component of Lexapro, a popular psychiatric drug, which is more expensive. Iodine helps prevent breast cancer and prostate cancer. It's good for the thyroid, even if the thyroid is overactive. It can help reduce endometriosis and help fight autoimmune diseases, those things that are chronic allergies with runny nose, itchy skin, rash, and hard to trace indigestion issues. Another good thing to remember is vitamin C, which is extremely fragile with heat. Pasteurized orange juice means the vitamin C has generally been burned up. Vitamin C stretches collagen and fights stretch marks, particularly during late pregnancy. Chelation is better than vitamin C at removing toxic metals, but vitamin C is much cheaper. Sprinkle capsule contents on wounds, and they heal faster. Thiamine, vitamin B1, is extremely inexpensive and it treats some forms of heart failure. It is also good at reducing tremors in some patients and can reduce neuroexcitability. Cheap, harmless, and worth a try. It is available locally. Other vitamin B components are useful too. There is a very simple way to make sure that the food you eat is good and does not require any complex chemical analysis. Follow your taste buds. Healthy food tastes good. Food that is bad for you generally does not. Your rebellious children may have been right. If food does not taste good, don't eat it. After a while, you will not want to eat food that is not good for you. Very convenient. Don't think just about how food tastes. Think about what it looks like. Think colors. I call this the rainbow prevention and treatment for cancer. Brightly colored fruits and vegetables, including berries, contain a variety of cancer fighters. 4 out of 5 people with an unexplained remission of cancer had changed their diets. Bring on the vegetables, bring on the fruits, and in particular bring on the brightly colored dark berries. Also apples for their pectin. Fish oil, like cod liver oil, deters attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and without the side effects of high blood pressure and sleepiness on withdrawal and other such things. While we're at it, fish oil is good for the brain and cognition in general. It's good for the heart, and it is about as effective as ibuprofen in joint pain management. Mental health. Illness may be curable in a month or two with cognitive behavioral therapy, instructions on how to think, and doing mental rehearsals so that when stressful or other objectionable situations come up, you are ready to react to them. Have goals in therapy, know what your target is, and know when you have reached it. Don't be bribed into being mentally ill. Take responsibility. Mental rehearsals are useful, and it is important to be able to detect and react to boundary violations. Somebody grabs you and you don't like it, you need to be able to say to yourself, this is wrong, and react without apology and without guilt. Television and the broken feedback loop. This is a very important concept that seems to be out of reach of most mental health practitioners. As we spend more and more of our time watching movies and television, we react emotionally to what we see, and in the old days, ordinary conversations, performers on a live stage, would get a sense from the audience or from other people of what is going on and how they feel. So there is a kind of mutual back and forthness to it. As it is now, there is no feedback from the television viewer to the television performer. There will be emotional dysfunction if the feelings of the audience are different from what the performer expects. There is no opportunity for a performer or for anyone else to say, no, no, that is not what the actor meant with that remark or that gesture. Therefore, any accidental wrong messages will remain uncorrected, and with wrong message upon wrong message repeated indefinitely, things can get very irrational and very crazy. We must also remember that variations from average will be repressed by this problem as TV producers play to the average, and those who are above average will be very severely repressed. They are threats. If you have low self-esteem and are surrounded by bad people, improve your worth. Become worthy of good people. Do not fear alienating bad people. The bad people will often want you to think that they are not bad people and that you are if you don't like them. Don't fall for that. If you improve social competence, courtesy, skill, and such, then confidence follows easily. Trust your feelings. If something feels wrong, it is. Look for brittle cordiality, in which the person is polite, but there is an undertone of pressure to follow a script. Do and say what I want you to do and say, or I will do something nasty. If you deviate from the strictly expected, is there an attempt to embarrass you or pressure you to conform? Avoid people who will not use fair debate to manage opinion differences. The rat race, breaking free, step number 1. Do not let practitioners turn a simple malady, yours, into a not-so-simple, ongoing, and expensive source of revenue. Step 2. Practice integrity. Do not be a passive recipient of charity or of any program that enslaves you and dictates what choices you will make. Breaking free, step 3. To be truly free, participate actively. Make sure that what you do does something of value, not apparent value. Do not simply display ribbons or plastic bracelets as if anyone is helped by these bracelets. Gather information, think, speak out, be free to do so, make your own decisions. There will be a feeling of freedom and euphoria when you start to do this. Do not let practitioners turn a simple malady into an ongoing source of revenue. Practice integrity. Do not be a passive recipient of charity that enslaves you and dictates what choices you'll make. And to be truly free, participate actively. Do not simply display ribbons or plastic bracelets as if anyone is helped by a symbolic gesture. You want real gestures. Gather information and make your own decisions. Your body, your doctor, your decision. Here is a list of our allies, people who advocate the truth in medicine. Association of American Physicians and Surgeons, Oregon Institute of Science and Industry, William Douglas, Joseph Mercola, and the book, Trust Your Body, Trust Your Baby. Take note of these. A few more comments. Here is what to look for in a doctor's office and hope you don't find there.
Does your doctor give you too many forms to fill out? Hi! Welcome to the office. Please fill these out. Okay. And these out. Does your doctor seem to make your money disappear? Does it seem as if your doctor always throws drugs at you? I don't mind being treated like a 5-year-old. I am a 5-year-old. But maybe you do. Is your doctor too interested in paperwork? Does your doctor treat you like a computer? When your doctor makes referrals, is your secret money? Does your doctor treat you like a yo-yo, bringing it back for extra money? You can have it all.
Final message? Sharpen your claws and don't worry. Let the rats do the worrying.